Oh, there's a sexy man.
Oh, hey, baby.
A sexy baby daddy.
I hadn't fed her. She hadn't woke up all the way yet.
Okay. Behind the scenes, this is what's happening.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Hey, y'all.
He just put a bottle in his pocket.
Hey, give me a kiss.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Look at that beautiful baby, y'all. That's my baby. That's our baby.
This is crazy.
A week and 2 days old.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, look at her little
Love you
face.
guys. Thanks,
Holy
Daddy.
cow, what is going on?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome back.
Look, y'all, look where we are.
Look where we are. We're like here. We're in the studio.
I'm freaking out right now.
After like Mother's Day and Memorial Day just yesterday.
We've had some holidays happen. We've had some things go down. We've been social distancing, slowly dipping our toes back in the pool of normality, I think.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, let's roll the what's up? Hey, welcome back to the Don't Tell Mom podcast.
Where anything and everything goes.
Anything and everything. I'm Cullen. This is my sister Britany, and we are here to talk about what's been happening. This really does feel weird.
This does feel weird. I don't know what to do with my hands.
The audio is so much better.
Right? I can hear you through I got headphones on.
Right.
I'm not looking at you through a Zoom that we don't know if it's going to bust up and and freeze your face in a really ugly position.
Or like mid-conversation.
Yeah. Mine always freeze. I don't know about y'all, but I know everybody's been kind of doing the Zoom and the FaceTime thing lately. And, I don't know about y'all, but every single time mine gets frozen, it's always on a double chin. It's a double chin moment for me. Like, it's not cute,
Oh, man. What is the stock on Zoom these days, I wonder? I wonder if it's going to drop now.
It's going to drop now,
because everybody's stopped.
I actually know the answer to this, Cullen, because I've been playing the stocks. If y'all remember, that this idea came to me, I think, on a podcast when this whole thing got started. The last one we probably did in the studio.
Uh-huh.
And Cullen had told me about this app it's called Public, and it's for investing for dummies, pretty much. And so I signed on, and I was just showing Cullen before we started this podcast how my, it's green, and, my little chart is just going all the way up from, when it was crashed is when I started investing, and then I've just kept investing, and I've just been, consistently making money as everything goes up.
It looks like Mount Kilimanjaro or something.
I know, it's awesome.
It's
very volatile is what they say. I know all these terms now, the terminology, because I'm like a pro now. But the Zoom one, I see these stocks and I'm really into it. I actually really am into the whole stock market thing. So that might be my next career, folks. But the Zoom one, I almost invested in, and I felt like, okay, maybe am I too late to invest in this? Because, it had already taken off at that point. And there was some news where there was some security issues with Zoom.
Yes.
So there was hackers going on. And so that's why I was hesitant. I was like, man, I don't know, because this could crash, because it could be a disaster. And,
people were breaking into college classes and doing pranks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's mooning the class. But so I didn't actually invest in Zoom. But everybody that talks, because this app, this Public app is like social media for investing. So you can buy a stock, and once you buy a stock, everybody can see that you bought that stock, and then you can leave a comment, like a status update, saying why you bought it. Oh, I bought this. Oh, I'm averaging down, or I'm adding to my portfolio, or what, you can say all this lingo.
Kind of like Venmo, when you pay somebody, it's kind of like you do cryptic little emojis just to be funny, like the eggplant.
Well,
I send Corey $20 and you put the eggplant emoji or something.
Oh, I always lie when I Venmo too, and I make it. You can do it private, but I make it public, and I'm like, this is for the butt rub you gave me earlier, or for your foot fetish, or So I always make it embarrassing, but I don't sit there and go through Venmo and look at people's things. Yeah. Whereas Public literally has taken over my life, and because I have money invested in it, right? So I'm always looking at my money, and the 5 apps that I just open and close all day on my phone, that's the main one now. Yeah, it used to be Instagram and Twitter and Facebook,
crazy.
But now it's Public, because I want to see what's going on in the stock market. I can't go. I'm literally waiting for 8:30 so I can go check and see who's trading what, and who's selling, and who's whatever.
Anybody doing TikTok?
I don't know. TikTok's a good. I know, the next time I get money, every time I'm getting money for any reason, I'm putting it in there. I'm addicted to this, but it's growing. It's I'm getting I've already made 30% on what I've put in, which is like unheard of.
That's crazy.
When you think about like how much time it takes to invest and to try to get 10% of your money back or whatever.
The hard part is like when to pull the trigger, right? Like kind of
Yes.
like at the blackjack table.
Yeah, it's buy low, sell high. That's the whole thing. But here's the thing: is everything was low when I started buying because it was right when the pandemic hit, and it was like right after that stock market crash, the Black Monday or whatever they called it, when it was like,
oh yeah,
and I was like, this is the time because I'm smart, right? I'm like, this is the time to do it. Well, anyway, it's been successful for me, but Zoom was not one of them.
It wasn't.
No, Zoom. I'm sticking with ones that I know, like. All my gold stocks have gone through the roof, and inflation because of all this money that that the government's printing and stuff. That's going to happen. So I'm keeping my gold stocks for the long haul, but they've already made me a bunch of money.
Diapers,
toilet paper,
diapers.
No. Like the main ones that are going to survive: Disney, Apple, like even ExxonMobil, which everybody's like, oh, gas. I'm like, no, gas is going to come back. Don't worry. But
it's like record lows right now.
Yeah, the good ones. But anyway.
Speaking of diapers, you're a week, like we just kind of behind the scenes before we started saw. Little baby's week and 2 days.
Lily Mae has arrived, and y'all know that if you watched if you listened or watched the last podcast, I had her on the Zoom. And that was literally the day we got home. Yeah.
Was it? No.
Yeah, it was the day we got home that we did that. So.
Holy. Yeah, the day you got home. Yeah.
Yeah, that night.
I remember texting. I was like, I don't want to do it if you're, because, like, I don't know.
You need some time.
If you've ever had a baby, Yeah,
it was good. I was able to kind of give y'all the lowdown. And since then, I put up the little birth vlog that we had, which wasn't too much footage, but is what we had from like before she came. And then I've got some more good footage coming. I've just not really been motivated to get on and do the vlog and edit them and stuff. I'm taking time for me.
Do your thing.
Yeah, we've had some people reach out for like brand deals and stuff, and I'm just like, no, not right now. Give me a couple weeks.
Right.
This is my maternity leave. So
I think the best time to have a baby, especially after having having Brooks, I just remember being like I don't know, you just want to be by yourself, get settled by yourself, and having the pandemic or the virus as an excuse,
right? Yeah,
to be nobody can come over because you're not allowed to.
Yeah,
in general, it was I was like, God, nice. That's the best time to have a baby. Actually,
yeah, it's actually okay
because it was just I don't know. Not that I don't appreciate everybody dropping by, bringing dinner and stuff like that, but just the you're already in the hospital every 2 hours. Somebody's dinging your door to check your vitals. It wasn't that
bad. There wasn't a lot of people coming in and out because the rules of the pandemic. So that was actually nice. And then the 2 months that we've been in this thing, I was pregnant, and so it's I couldn't do anything fun, and so it was actually. Anyway, and so it was actually kind of nice for me because it's y'all can't do anything fun either. So my FOMO was at manageable level. I didn't have to go through all y'all's Instagrams and see all your fun shit that y'all are doing and not be able to participate. But y'all, it's so nice to not be pregnant anymore.
I was about to say, speaking of fun,
I'm drinking a Red Bull.
Yeah,
God.
How was your first alcoholic beverage afterward? After the first of all, let's back up. What was your first meal? Do you even remember?
I don't even know. A nasty hospital
Just
food.
Some
but
hospital
when we got home, we were kind of
because Corey couldn't leave to go get food.
Yeah,
I think you mentioned that.
It was terrible. Yeah, I'm going to do a whole vlog on mine about the conditions of this terrible hospital. Don't ever go to Grandview Medical if you're in Birmingham. The place is terrible. But yeah, when we got home, it's just been we had already pre-planned. We had chicken breasts and ground beef and stuff in the freezer, in individual packs we'd already pre-packaged. And so it's been pretty easy, and Corey loves to cook, and I used to love to cook, but I've just not been into it lately. So he's kind of taken that over, and we've been cooking or ordering out and just kind of doing our thing. It's been really nice having him home.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
So, which is another good thing about the pandemic. He probably he was going to have this time taken off anyway.
Right.
But now it's it makes him feel better that there's no work.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's several jobs that got canceled, and it's now work's picking back up when he's in next week. I think he goes back to work, but he's been able to have the time off.
Just to chill with the baby.
And it's everybody else is off work too. So.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. And one of his Corey at his job, the other guys that are that's on his same level as far as importance with the job. He's actually they were scheduled to be induced on Wednesday too. the same day as us.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's like they would have had, his company would have had two guys out. But luckily, a lot of jobs, luckily, I guess, a lot of jobs got canceled, and so they didn't need them anyway. So everybody's home with their babies right now. It feels
so cool. It's so weird. Yeah, it's like the rules have loosened up a little bit as far as everything goes. Everything's kind of opening back up. I don't know. It's kind of mixed signals. The governor said we're opening things back up, or on the news
it was like, oh, well, you need 14 days of progress, and then that didn't happen, and we're like, I just love the fact that America just opened back up because we just said, well, we're done with the corona. We're opening up because we said so.
Right. I
mean, it's not like it's not still there. It's like, oh well, yeah, but it's over now.
yeah. Just take precaution. Just like going out to restaurants, you can only sit so far apart. Like, I don't know. It's just interesting because you go back out into the world, or you go to the store, you still have to wear your masks, and like I think. Katie took the kids last week.
Did they wear masks?
Doing some work, yeah. And she took them with her to go to Costco, and they wouldn't let Gaines in, even though Katie had the mask on her. She just didn't put it on her. She had it in her purse. She just forgot to put it on her. And they were like, oh, she can't come in without a mask. So there's still like...
Yeah. Target's the same way.
Stipulations.
But it's weird how some places are like that and some aren't. Like Target, you have to have a mask. Publix, you don't.
Walmart's hit or miss.
Yeah.
I went to Whole Foods with a gift card, and it was like, as you're checking out, they're like, you have to have a mask. If you don't have one, we'll provide one. But again, it's like...
Whole Foods would provide
I was watching this guy on Twitter, and he was just bitching about it because he was like, Costco wouldn't let me in without a damn mask. He's like, I'm in America. First it was no shirt and no shoes. Now it's no shirt, no shoes, no mask. I thought we were in America.
Yeah.
If I don't want to wear a mask, and then
don't you just feel like an asshole if you don't have one on? Though, like,
well, their argument was like it's for the safety of our employees and everybody, the general public. But it
makes sense, y'all, to wear a mask. It does.
It does, but I can also like long term see his argument in a sense like. We're freaking turning into like we are just being strapped down. It seems in some cases, like everything's like line up this way. You can only walk one way down this aisle. You can only go this way. You can only wear a mask. It
cracks me up though, for real. You got all these like doomsdayers that have been preparing for this moment their whole lives, and then they're out here. I need a damn haircut. It's like, well, what about all that supplies you had? But you're ready for this. I don't know. I really don't see. Corey, he can't stand wearing a mask. Like, he won't go. I can't either. Like, we had to go to Target and we wore the mask and he was going to have a panic attack. And I was like, just go back to the car. I got this.
Well, whenever I'm not around somebody, I'll, like, just undo one ear. And because it's like...
Yeah, if you're not around him, what is it? It's like the people that drive around in their car by themselves with the masks on. It's like, come on, y'all.
Yeah, as soon as I walk out of the store...
You know the point of this, right?
I let it go. Yeah, it's just like... I intermittently use, I'm aware of the people around me. If somebody comes up next to me, I put it on.
Yeah.
But it's still like, am I breathing those, if I have it on other people and stuff like that. Yeah. But speaking of having it, you had to get tested before.
I don't have it.
Your pregnancy, and what was it, 3 to 5 days?
I mean, I might have it now. I don't know, but I don't have it. I did not have it.
Okay, don't tell me that.
I did not have it a week ago when I was at the store, when I was at in the hospital. No, they tested me and I came back negative. So if I came back negative, then I'm pretty sure Corey and the babies and like our whole family's negative then.
Yeah.
Which it was weird. They didn't test Corey. I'm like, well, why aren't you testing the dads too?
Oh, that's interesting. You're letting somebody.
But they wouldn't let him in. They checked his temperature and stuff.
Yeah.
The thing is that like everything I'm hearing on the news is that lately is that it's not. Like people are asymptomatic, is that what it's called? Where you don't even show signs.
Right.
There's like a bunch of them that are like that. And then, so what does a fever check matter? If you don't have a fever, if you're one of the people that just carry it.
Yeah.
I guess it's like to make sure like the people that do have it aren't like weed those sickies out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what if you don't have a temperature, but you're just carrying it around asymptomatic and you don't have symptoms?
Yeah.
But now they're saying that it's not so much on the surface. After the CDC said the whole thing about it's not okay to wear masks, don't wear masks, and then they flipped it to like now you have to wear a mask, that makes me not trust you, CDC.
Well, they don't know. Like that's the thing.
Y'all don't know what you're talking about.
It changes every day.
But now they're saying it was on the surfaces, and now they're saying that it's not so much on the surfaces. So the washing the hands isn't that big of a deal. I don't know. I saw something the other day that's really there's been like the greatest videos have come from this, to be honest with you, with people that get really riled up about it. I love watching their points of views. And like one I saw on Facebook or something, it was a doctor, and he was just so mad that they did 2 flyovers of his hospital to thank the staff, thank the medical staff and all the people that work in the front lines,
the essential workers.
And he's screaming about how that cost $450,000 per flyover that they did. They did 2 at his hospital already. He's like, take that money and give it to the inner city kids that are starving to death.
Right.
So we don't have to worry about them coming of starvation while we're trying to take care of, like,
so you don't have a good news article.
PPE,
yeah. Like, you don't get a good thumbnail of the
trying to raise morale. Fuck your morale. Give me the money. we need protective gear instead of these painter's masks. Like, give us. So it's it's interesting to see the actual professionals that are on the front lines complaining about like where this money's going. It's like, I don't know.
And yeah, we're in so much debt, and there's so much like that's a lot of freaking money,
right?
For a 2-second flyover. To thank granted, thank y'all for the essential workers on the front lines, but like, does it really need to?
Yeah, do we need to spend that much money to thank you guys?
Oh,
I could have gone to CVS, got a poster board and a marker, and said thank you, doctors, and stood outside the hospital. I didn't need an airplane, whatever. But
I saw an article of a guy that was sitting outside of his wife's birth suite. He had a whole like tailgate set up, and he had a poster, and he said "Proud Papa," and he was drinking his beer. And he was just sitting there.
Sounds like more fun than actually being there.
And she took the picture from her birth suite, or one of the nurses did, and he was just down there just camping out, waiting on this baby to come.
That would make me so sad if Corey had not been able to be in the room.
Oh, I know.
I would have died. But there was this other one. So, these videos that are popping up, I love watching these. There's this one, and I don't know if y'all have seen it. If you have, you know what I'm talking about. But it's this guy named Vic. And his level of pissed off is like so appropriate, and he's a cop, and he's like sitting in his cop car, and he's complaining about like what's going on and like how things are just not being done right. Like talking about these major corporations, we're expected, these little hardworking people, like normal jobs, whatever, we're expected to have a nest egg for things like this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yet you can't. Yeah, you got a bank that's been making $40 billion a year in profit for the last 10 years, every year profit, and they're expected to get a bailout after 2 weeks of a pandemic. But we're supposed to be able to survive for months, right? The little guy is supposed to be able to, you're supposed to have all your shit. Why don't these banks have a plan? Why they should have more than enough money to like stop all mortgage payments, all rent, no bills are due. That way you can spend the $1,200 stimulus on food and essentials, and actually instead of having to pay your light bill.
Yeah.
Because they're going to cut your lights off. I mean, these big corporations, it's the big guys versus the little guys,
right,
And he just goes off on this rant, and it is great because his level of pissed off is so good. And he's like screaming at the camera, cursing like
and he's a police officer, or?
Yeah, and you can see he's like in his uniform, and it says Vic, and he's like this like military looking gray hair with the buzz cut. It just looks like. And he's screaming, it's like spitting at the camera. It's so good. I got to try to find that link and send it to you. But his level of pissed off is like super appropriate, I think.
The whole thing I'm worried about too is I think you sent me a video about this dealing with. I think it was more of a conspiracy theory thought or something. But like,
Cullen loves those.
In October is flu season. So what's going to happen in October? Because the flu hadn't like taken a back seat and said, "Here, coronavirus, you can kill all these people. I'll be chilling."
We got a cure for the flu. I'm not worried about the flu. Go get a damn flu shot, people.
But like, that's the thing is like you have the symptoms of coronavirus, but you really don't have the flu. But do you have the flu? Do you have the corona with the like? It's just going to be a freaking.
How about everybody just get a flu shot?
Crazy.
And just to be safe, just to err on the side of safety. You know what I mean? Like, why don't we just go ahead and trust that one this year?
Well, I think.
Can we just trust that vaccine this year? Can we all just agree?
There's been years that we've gotten the flu shot and it's like made it work. Like,
yeah, you get sick because that's what they're doing. They're giving you a little dose of the flu. So why don't they do that with the coronavirus? That's like
the conspiracy. To, like,
give us a little dose of the coronavirus.
Kill off some of the population with this vaccine.
Cullen, conspiracy. We can literally just change the show to the conspiracy theory. Don't tell my lawyer. and that'll be all we talk about. But it is kind of interesting though that like the rich got real rich. Like all these little companies that are that the stock market is really helping. You know what I mean? That are making billions and billions of dollars. I want to see them give back and like pay everybody's bills for a month or something like. Y'all just made so much money.
There have been a lot of, well, I don't know if they're necessarily rich, but a lot of influencers and personalities and celebrities that have raised tons of money doing these fundraisers and like live streams. I saw this one guy, G Watsky. If y'all are on YouTube, you know who he is. He's like a freestyle rapper. He's got his whole album out and stuff like that. He did like a 72-hour or 48-hour, I can't remember what it was, freestyle rap. He literally freestyled for 72 hours straight, had people bringing him water, and he was live streaming this whole thing on YouTube to raise money for the relief funds for COVID.
That's crazy.
I would check in randomly, and he was just like, and then I was just sitting here, I'm a simp, I'm not a pimp. And then I'm just
it's like you gotta run out of shit to talk about.
He wasn't, though, and he was like just thumbing through his books and like just reading comments and then making rhymes with it was
the comments, interacting.
Insane.
Did you have to pay to go into the room? I don't even know how that works.
No, you could just watch it live, but you could donate. Like he had a donate button, so he made a buttload of money. And then there was another guy, MrBeast is another YouTuber that raised like almost $1 million, and he did. I think he raised over $1 million. He did a YouTuber paper rock scissors live, and he used like Zoom, and he had like a whole bracket system. It was like a tournament, so he had like two major YouTube, like Casey Neistat versus iJustine, and then he would pop them up on the screen, and then they would go 1, 2, and then the screen would black out, so the other person couldn't see what the other person was going to choose.
Okay.
And then they'd come back, and then they would either be holding up scissors or paper, and then it was double elimination.
That's cool.
And then they moved on to the next round. And it was set up, they had like sports broadcasters off to the side, and they were like, well, Johnny,
it. I love it.
That was a very good.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sweet. Out of the loop. Thank God you know this stuff, because I'm like totally out of the loop when it comes to what's going on, what people are actually doing about this. Because I think like the whole fun of going to a concert is to be there and the experience or whatever. It's just like, they're talking about doing baseball without fans, and they're talking about these sports without fans, and I'm like, but that's like...
I heard on the radio this morning...
too different. Like, when is it too different to just say, let's just not do it this year?
There was a soccer tournament, or a soccer match over in some foreign country or some other country that put on a soccer match, two teams versus each other, obviously, but they had 20,000 cardboard cutouts to replicate fans in the stands, and then they even incorporated fan noise.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about that. Where it's like, so the players could still get that vibe.
Yes.
How much money did y'all spend on that? Just saying.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's getting ridiculous.
It's crazy. I'm worried about football's coming up. The college football's coming up.
I thought Saban said the show must go on.
The show must go on. I just don't know how they're going to do that with 6 feet apart, and they're going to like cut. I don't know, like because you had to like pre-order your tickets if you're a ticket holder, and are you going to get refunded it's just going to be
season ticket.
The whole like checking your temperature before you go in, and what's going to happen if they turn you away, and you got some drunk Alabama fan saying, damn it, I don't have a fever, my wife just made me hot.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting.
Alabama.
I know UFC has started back with their pay-per-view events. They've had 3 in the past week, or 2 last week. They did one on Saturday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and they did that.
Fans?
No, there was an empty arena. There was probably like 15 people there. One case of corona, but he had to go. Him and his trainers had to obviously not participate. But that's different.
They tested him before they.
Yeah, everybody got tested before the fight, and
see, that's my thing. Why can't we just test people? Like, don't they have some kind of way to test people where it comes back in like 15 minutes or something? Something
like that. Like Dana White got tested 3 times in a week because he had to be there for each. He's the CEO, the owner of UFC. And he posted on his Instagram getting tested. And he's like, that's the 3rd one this week. And he's shoving it up his nose.
That's so uncomfortable.
Oh, God, I hate that.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I filmed it for y'all.
Oh, God. Yeah. But he...
Pussy.
The thing with that is, though, like with UFC fighting, you're dealing with two people.
Hair.
Well, you're only dealing with like 2 people in the cage. And then you got your you got your people on the outside, your coaches on the outside, and then so as far as like interaction and stuff. They should be fine, and they get tested.
Even football and like I was telling Corey, so why didn't your hockey start back up? Why can't y'all just wear those face shields?
Well, because then you're dealing with like
anyway.
The locker room and all the bacteria in that, and then like
football showering together afterwards.
Right? And like football is like a whole like squad. It's not just 11 on 11. You got everybody, all the backups and all the coaches, and like the whole sidelines are that's just packed. A lot of people. The thing with the UFC that was interesting was hearing when you're in a fight with somebody, it doesn't matter if there's an audience or not. Yeah, the lights and the cameras and the oohs and the yells and everything help with the adrenaline rush, but like you're locked in the cage with a man, you're gonna fight. So it was actually almost more enjoyable to watch those, being able to hear like the and the
over the
like
the contact,
and then the coaches. It was almost like a fight between the coaches because like you could hear the other corner coaching their fighter how to respond and react, but then you'd see the fighter that was getting on defense react to the coaches that were telling the other guy what to do, and so it made the fights a lot more intriguing.
That's intriguing. I didn't think about that because I can hear what your coach is saying now because you don't have the crowd
without the crowd.
You.
And so even the commentators, they were sitting 6 feet apart, and one guy won, and throughout the fight, one of the commentators was like, "Oh, he needs to really check those kicks." And so then they're interviewing the winner after the fight, and he was like, "Yeah, I heard DC over there." He's one of the commentators. he was talking to the TV or the on pay-per-view. I heard him saying, check the kicks, and that's what won it for me. So the commentator helped the fighter.
You're messing it up.
Win. Yeah, it was just like, this is insane. Like it's
actually
a whole different dynamic.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be like this forever, Cullen.
I don't know. The money, the venue, the vending sales and stuff. Buying the T-shirts and the little $20 lightsaber things at all these things are just. That's what sucks as far as making money at those places.
Yeah, but that's also big companies making the monies. That y'all have been making millions and millions of dollars. I don't feel bad for y'all. Sorry, Walmart. I will never feel bad for you. I will never feel bad for these people that are making $40 billion a year in profit and that need help. You know what I mean? Like, I need help. What do you mean y'all need help? Give me some help.
Well,
speaking of, there might be another stimulus thing coming out, so I don't know if y'all heard about that.
No, I hadn't.
But I pay attention to shit like that because I like money.
Money.
And if they give me, and like old Vic I was telling you about, like he was like $1,200. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to turn it down. It's my fucking money. I paid that in taxes. Right? You know what I mean? Give me my money. This is why, I pay it in taxes. But so if they're going to give it to you, you're going to take it. But apparently what they've done is the House has approved for a second stimulus round. And for a long time, there was talks over doing $2,000 a month. Corey's from Canada, and that's what they're doing up there, is they're giving everybody $2,000 a month. I'm like, Canada's got it going on. We need to move. But down here, they're talking about just doing one more round of $1,200 for everybody. And last time they gave, if you fall in the bracket, I guess, but last time they gave you $500 per child. And now I guess they're going to give you $1,200 per child. So a little bit more than the last stimulus will be this stimulus. And then, it's still got to pass in the Senate. And they're talking about it's going to be dead on arrival and all that stuff because they don't want to. They want to help the big companies. They'd rather help the big companies, whereas the Democrats, I guess, want to help the little people, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a war. And but the main thing that I appreciate on this bill that they proposed and that the House has agreed to or voted through is that they're going to give a hazardous pay to the people that are on the front lines. And I'm like, why haven't we been doing that anyway? Because I got a girlfriend who's my dear friend. We've been friends our whole lives, and she stocks the shelves at the grocery stores. So she works in the grocery stores all day long. And she's going in and out of all these different grocery stores. And she has a little girl. She's a single mom. I mean, works her butt off. And she's getting paid the exact same amount as she's always been. But now she's got to wear a mask and she's literally risking her life. I mean, through all this, she has not taken a day off. She's actually got way more work because of this. So, because things are flying off the shelves, she's having to go stock them and whatever. So, why aren't they paying her more money? Why aren't they giving a stimulus to the people that that are being forced to work even if they're uncomfortable doing so.
Right.
Or lose their job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's
There's both sides of the coin. You have people that lose their job that would kill to be working in this environment anyway. Doesn't even care that they're risking themselves to be out there or whatever. You got, I don't know. Everybody's just different. Everybody's opinion's different.
Three sides to this coin, because right before we started, you said your brother-in-law, or Corey's brother, has started selling soup from his house.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
There's these people making a living, like the boiled peanuts getting delivered to my house, that are finding ways around.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
you got
that's what's so crazy.
Yeah, you got the people that are just going to sit back and wait for a check, and then you got the people that are like making the best of it and are actually finding ways.
A passion of like
it's that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
You know, people are just like, you know what, I'm going to figure out a way to get through this, and they take the initiative and the bull by the horns, as they say.
Like the Mexican restaurants doing the to-go margaritas. And
yes, it blows my mind though, because I see him post. His name's Kevin, and I see him post all the time, like his soups and the menu for the week. And he said that he sold, like, I think the other day he posted that he sold like 300 jars in a month. And this is like him doing it once a week. But he's making these big pots of soup and then putting them in jars and selling them to people that he's posting them on the internet, like his menu, which are amazing. It's like avocado bacon soup and like potato leek and all these like curries and I mean, it's like every kind of soup you can imagine. And they look, I mean, when just looking at the pictures, because he like posts a really pretty picture of a bowl of soup with, you know, exactly like. He like has really put time and effort into it, and like advertising on his social media. Like anybody that wants soup that's in this area of Toronto, you know, let me know, DM me or whatever. And he's like literally selling out so fast he can't, because he's taking the time to do the pretty picture and like, you know, dress it up with the garnishes and whatever. And they just look amazing. And so we actually went yesterday to the store and got all the recipes for 2 of them. There was like a chicken curry that we're gonna make, and Corey just made it actually. And a potato leek that I wanted to try. But there's like literally every week he has a different menu, and they look amazing. But he's sold, you know, thousands of dollars worth of soup through this pandemic, you know? And it's crazy to me, because I'm like, you're really like taking advantage of this, because people don't want to leave, and he's going to go deliver them to them, you know? And he's got the repeat customers and all that stuff. So he's definitely making the best of it. That's for sure.
That is awesome.
It's pretty cool. I should have thought of something like that. But
right.
I was too pregnant. I didn't have time for all. I was like, no, I ain't doing nothing.
My battery on this isn't charging. Sorry, I'm just trying to technical difficulties after being out of shop for so long.
Yeah, I didn't even know if we knew how to sit at this table and do this.
I don't know if my battery's not working or what's going on. In other news,
what's been going on? So one, I want to say happy graduation to all the seniors. If we have any seniors that listen to us, that sucks for them.
I know.
But they're going to also have a cool story later in life. Like, oh, yeah, I didn't go to my graduation because of the pandemic. It'll be okay.
Right. Well, and our daughter graduated kindergarten, which is nothing compared to senior graduation or missing out on those memories. But, like, the thought of going into, like, a little auditorium, that would have been awesome and, like, memorable. But, like, the fact that we were able to do, like, this little drive-through parade and decorate the car, I think was much more fun for her. They had,
and that's memorable too.
And I mean, they made it work.
I don't remember my 5th grade graduation or first grade or kindergarten. Yeah, I don't remember mine. So it's more memories for y'all, I think, for you and Katie. Yeah. But yeah. So congratulations to everybody that's graduated, kindergarten to through college. I mean, everybody. And then I wanted to say, everybody, you know, for Memorial Day, that was a different scene, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Watching the news, all the Memorial Day stuff that was different, and no one could be there. It was crazy. But, hey, thank you to all the veterans and everything. So I want to say that.
Yes.
And if you're listening,
Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day. Thank y'all for your service.
Oh, man. It's always crazy thinking about, like, kind of going back, I was talking to my daughter and Brooks and Gaines about everything, and I was just like, you know, they fought for our freedom, and we're remembering those that did.
Our dad was a Marine, and our granddad was in Vietnam,
but then in the same breath, I'm like, are we like going back to the whole like beginning of the podcast? It's like, but we're having to wear a mask and walk in the line, but you know, compared to other countries, we're completely. got
yeah,
the
this
freedom
is nothing.
This is nothing.
We were watching Saving Private Ryan the other day, and we're just talking about how crazy that is. Like these big tanks come in the ocean, and all these people in the war and whatever. And we were just talking about like how crazy that was that happened.
Oh,
and
I
like
imagine.
these days, people be like, "Oh, my feelings are hurt. You know, I can't go or whatever." Like
Right.
just we were talking about how sensitive everybody is these days, and how big of a different world it was back then.
And you don't even like. I'm trying to put it into somewhat perspective to my kids, a 5 and 3-year-old. I'm like, yeah, they went to a war. And it's just like they don't understand what that even means.
Yeah.
Like soldiers, and
and hopefully they never will.
Right, right.
Hopefully this is the worst thing that ever happens to us is a pandemic. You know? We have to stay inside in our nice, cozy houses with our blankets and our Netflix. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we're gonna be okay, guys. We're gonna get through this. I promise. I'm very much a kind of person that's like to each his own. If you're not comfortable going out of the house and you wanna. There's been a lot of news about people like heckling people out at the grocery store because they're not wearing a mask, like and just being real ugly. You're getting the nasty sides of people because of what they think you should be doing with your life. And I'm definitely I don't know what I am, like politically. I don't know what I have no idea. I just call it as I see it, right? And for me, and the way that I believe is like to each his own. If you want to stand in the street butt naked with a needle in your arm, I don't give a fuck. That's do with your body and your life what you want to, and I'm gonna do with my body, my life what I want to. You know what I mean?
Right,
to a degree,
right.
I understand socially, like whatever, to a degree. But if you don't feel safe going out in the world with or without a mask on, or with your hand sanitizer in stow or whatever, then stay home and don't go. There's plenty of other ways to get food and resources. You're not going to starve to death, I promise. You're not going to run out of toilet paper again, hopefully.
Right.
But if you're not comfortable, then don't go. And if you are comfortable, then go. And if you're not comfortable with other people going and not being as, as strict about things as you are, then don't go. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's like you're getting into people's rights and freedoms and stuff like that. Like the beach, I think, are they closing back down? Because Memorial Day weekend was this weekend, and it was like packed out.
I don't know. I hadn't heard.
Packed.
I know a lot of people went.
A lot of people down there. There was definitely no social distancing.
Yeah.
It was a party, and those people partying like nothing. None of this happened. So,
well, and I've seen.
But don't go if you're uncomfortable.
Yeah,
don't go.
And I've seen some articles. This is kind of old news about how they're having to release inmates from prison that have been tested positive, and then there's even inmates go and they're on camera, on security cameras, like huddling up in like large groups and then trying to spread it so they get released.
Yeah, I feel bad for the ones that are in there that are not trying to do that, and that you know what I mean, that are like I read an article of somebody that was in there for a 2-year, like first time that it was a drug charge, first time they'd ever been in trouble. They were in prison for 2 years, got the coronavirus, and died from it. Like, so one mistake, some stupid mistake, like you got a drug, you had an addiction, you had a problem that could have been better suited for like a hospital or for treatment. They send you to prison where you get this and die. Yeah, and it's that's so sad to me because
crazy
because the people that are in there with people that don't care, that are murderers, that have that mentality, that do want to cough on you if they get it, that, you know what I mean? You're definitely not safe.
Oh, man. Well, in other funny news that's happened around the world.
Tell me something
There's on Mother's Day weekend, a Florida man dives into a Bass Pro Shop fish tank.
Cullen loves this story.
This is just crazy.
This is some shit Cullen would do, though.
I was like, oh, this sounds like a Don't Tell Mom story.
Yeah, it does.
The video shows the man walking up the stairs, dive into the tank at the store. Could you imagine, like, just getting up there and be like, cannonball?
He was just happy that the store was open.
Yeah, that too.
Did he have a mask on, Cullen?
I don't know. He may have had like a goggles on. But could you imagine, like, there's some big fish in that thing. But he's still on the loose. This guy's still on the loose. They got
So what? He dived in, jumped out, ran out, and wet.
Yeah, the manager followed him out, and he saw him leaving a silver sedan. And he is. They've got
like a boss.
A name. He's gotten trespassing charges. They spent $3,000 decontaminating the tank. So it's not the first time it's happened. It's been like it's going to be like the new TikTok sensation, I think. People jumping into this big fish aquarium, yeah.
Oh,
That's
God.
kind of crazy.
TikTok's a whole nother. I don't even get on there, but I know
It's
you're
been a
on
while.
there.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother world right there.
There's another
Vines.
Yeah.
It's like Vines.
In other fun news on the YouTube world, there was a guy, Mark Robert, who I've talked to about in the past, that showed how fast germs spread when this all started.
He did with the glitter or
with the powder, like the UV light and powder and stuff. He just came out with a new video yesterday that shows how he, since the beginning of quarantine, he was wanting to watch his birds eat out of the bird feeder. He saw squirrels that kept getting into his bird feeder, so he bought a different bird feeder that was squirrel-proof. That squirrel did some acrobatics, got into the bird feeder, got another one, did like bought 3 bird feeders. So he's a former NASA engineer. Like, he's just insane with his...
We try to get him on the show.
He's done the glitter bomb. Yeah, we should, actually. He's done...
I remember the glitter bomb.
Package thieves.
Yeah. Oh, that's that guy.
That's that guy, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's done that. So he's engineered where it's got GPS tracking in it and, like, cameras and sprays fart spray after a certain amount of time. So you're stuck with this...
Those are fun videos
empty package. But so he set up this American Ninja Warrior type course for these squirrels that wanted the food so bad, the bird food so bad, to have to go through in order to get to the bird food.
Nice.
And I mean, it's taken like a 2-month process, but I mean, he went all out. He even has like a pressure sensitive catapult. If you sit there, he's got it baited with a walnut. And if the squirrel sits there for longer than 3 seconds, it activates the catapult and just shoots the squirrel.
Nice.
So he sets up distractions along the course. He's got the little roundabout whirly things where the pedals where they have to like go through them. The squirrel's one of those like Jacob slider things where it teeter-totters, and the squirrels are like hanging off of it upside down, and they're like, whoa, what the hell? He's greased all the other poles, so there's only one pole for the squirrels to get up. And he's got like, it's set up absolutely phenomenal.
Brilliant.
He's got 4 contestants. He's named all the squirrels. He's got one where if they get to a certain point on one of the stages, he's got a little mural, and then he's got a hole cut out, and then a walnut sitting on the thing. And so the squirrel sticks his head through the hole, and it looks like he's a little cowboy. And so then they snap a picture, and the squirrel's face is sticking through, and it looks like he's a cowboy. Like it's just phenomenal.
That's awesome.
And
then this guy's using his quarantine time wisely, is what it sounds like.
He's got a stuffed animal squirrel that is the
decoy,
the hooker decoy.
Okay.
To try to get them to sit there a little bit longer to go. Yeah. And then if you actually do make it to the end of the platform, there is the bird feeder up there that they're trying to get to. But he's got it to where if they do make it that far, a whole trap door opens full of walnuts, and so they can just have a buttload, all the walnuts they want. And the reason he knows they want walnuts was because he did a controlled test study a month before where he laid out 4 different types of nuts, and he documented which ones they liked the most.
So he's got all this set up on film, like where he's got cameras set up.
Everything.
That's awesome.
You got to go check out Mark Robert's newest video.
Let's try to get him on the show. I bet he'd be interesting to talk to.
He is amazing. Yeah, he's done like these motor powered snowball throwers where it looks like a machine gun. It's the scientific genius that he is just hilarious. I don't know, but so that's some other fun stuff happening in the quarantine. Are we still like? Are
we in quarantine?
Are we still? What do y'all think? Like, leave a comment.
I think we declared it over.
It's over, except for California. California's still like they were.
They extended it.
Yeah, so they're still having to. Oh man,
we'll see. I mean, the hot spots I think need to be careful. I don't know. I don't have an opinion. I
need the data still. I need to look up
careful.
More
I'm gonna
data.
wear my mask. I'm not gonna be the asshole that doesn't have a mask on, and I'm gonna wash my hands, and I'm gonna just hope that everything's gonna be okay. That's all we can do, Cullen.
Yes.
Hope and pray. But I hope all of y'all are being safe and whatever you do, and you're thinking about others and being respectful and stuff, and.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will all be over. I'm just waiting on a cure.
It's getting close. I think it's getting close.
Yeah.
We'll have to
when they say there's a cure, when they say there's they have a vaccine for it, then I'm gonna be okay.
Oh man.
And it's not gonna be too much longer.
I hope not.
I think we got the smartest people that we've got working on it. So
it's crazy.
But I will tell you this, Cullen, we are back in the studio today.
I know, this is a good sign.
This is a good sign, guys. We're here. We're together. Cullen got to meet his niece today for the first time in person.
Golly,
so I'll put that on a vlog. And
we're going to get the kids and Katie back over here and do that soon.
Introduce the kids. I'm excited to see what Brooks is going to think about Lily.
Oh, my gosh.
He loves Sophia. So
I can't wait to see what he thinks about Sophia now that
she's like a huge now.
When they actually get to be around each other without this whole quarantine thing,
right?
They're gonna freaking.
I love it.
It's gonna be interesting there because, like you said earlier, like the kids have lost their ability to socially interact. Because that's what kids like the going to school and stuff. Even though it's kind of summer starting off now with Memorial Day being over and all that.
But still, just cutting out all like communication and like
that's where you learn more from. Personality perspective. School was fun to learn like academics, but it was also more important for them to learn how to socialize and interact and push limits of like pulling hair and stuff like that,
or high-fiving or giving hugs. I can't wait for Brooks and Sophia to give each other hugs. She's like
crazy.
His height now. I mean, she's a giant baby now. She's a big girl. But
I read an article real quick before we wrap up. The counselors in the school system and the education system are going to have a big to-do when it comes back because of, one, the mental, like just the depression. There's going to be some depression probably evolved, obviously. Yeah. But like we were just saying, the social interaction and then the kids that
they're scared or whatever. Well, I think
it's going to be crazy.
I did hear something on the news, which I don't know where this was, but one place was talking about how they were going to do schools reopen if you're comfortable with going to school.
Yep.
And if you're not, then we're going to have you might not get the same teacher because we are going to have to outsource other teachers. But if you're not comfortable, then we can do the online thing still, which I think that's great that they're giving people an option. I think that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Some parents don't really have the option. They just need to get their kids to school so they can go back to work. But some people that do have the option, it's not going to be homeschooling. You're still going to be accredited like through that school or whatever. But they're going to give you the option to do it from home. So that's
crazy.
Awesome. Anyway,
that does it for today's podcast.
Yes, thank
just
you
catching
guys
up on everything.
Yes, and if you're going back to work and you're back on the grind, don't forget to flip us on your commute and give us some thumbs up, some likes, some favorites, and all that good stuff. And can't wait to get back in the groove of things.
Yes,
we're back, baby.
Get some guests back up in here after they sanitize their hands.
We're back.
Oh, moving to fist bumps instead of hey.
Instead of elbows.
Yeah.
All right, love y'all. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching. Don't tell mom.
Don't tell mom.
Peace.
Yay.
Woo.